Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. I'm just fixing my hat here. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you just wanted to be a lurker, you could do that. John is here. I'll get to John's comments in a moment. Harold is here. Aristophan is here. Mr. Bob is here. We got a great crew already. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. Speaking of subscribers, we are currently at 33 out of 40. The goal is 40. It's always 40. If you'd like to become a subscriber, or if you wanted to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that, and that would be great. Ironhide the Fourth comes in with the traditional joke, saying, traditionally joked, which knight built King Arthur's Round Table? Circumference with Sir Circular Saw. Thank you, Ironhide the Fourth. Lord Crescent says, hey, Pat, is that really Xabungle kit from the world-famous Xabungle anime? That's right. Tonight, we will be finishing the WM, that's Walking Machine, Xabungle type from the anime Xabungle. This is a model kit from the year 1982 that was re-released in 2005, that was re-released really recently. The instructions are for 2005. The plastics are new. The design is from 1982. It is a glue kit. Iron Eye says, nice hat replacing the bandana. Indeed. For the holiday, I did break out the old Santa hat. I took a photo getting ready. I always take a photo of myself holding part of the kit or the instructions. And then I was like, wait, it's the week of Christmas. From a more hopeful 2005, indeed. So it is from Christmas. So I should say, John, before the stream got started, did say that they learned that the Xabungle is in Super Robot Wars Z, and that series does indeed. Look, if you have a mecha in your thing, eventually they will come a calling, and you will be in a Super Robot Wars video game. It's only a matter of time. Knights and magics are in there. They're basically like, hey, you got a mech? Sure. I would not be surprised if the pilot and mech from Trapped in an Automa game or Trapped in a Dating Sim, whatever. There's a long title from this year. That had mecha in it. That's my second favorite mecha show of the year, which is weird to say, but true. There wasn't a lot of mecha shows this year, but that one was my second favorite. Wish for Mercury is my favorite. It's really good. Speaking of, I did get Ghoul's mobile suit. It's not a Gundam, it's a mobile suit. I did get Ghoul's mobile suit. I ordered that from USA Gundam Store. There are some kits out there. I only went with one. I will be getting more eventually, but it's the holiday season and money doesn't go as far as I would like right now. So I got the Dylanzen, his mobile suit. I'll learn how to say it before we get there. It's a chunky purple boy. That's little knight kind of themed, which I like. The original Gundam, Lifrit, I did pre-order that. That's Q4, so I don't know whenever USA Gundam Store gets that kit, I will then get that kit. So that was supposed to be my first ever Witch from Mercury kit, but I imagine the one that is released, USA Gundam Store, will probably take a little while to get to me because they just got a lot of orders in, and also it's right before the Christmas holiday. But I still think I'm going to get that first. So I will, at some point, hopefully by the end of the year, build a model kit from Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury. Lord Carson says, it seems there was a Xabungle game for the PS1 that's kind of a side-scrolling mech racing game? Sure. They're walking machines, so I guess they race. Lord Crashington, there are a lot of PlayStation 1 games. I'm not saying that you know what I mean. Like, that does not surprise me that there might be. So we got the legs done here. Got some legs. We've got the arms, including one hand with a weapon done. We got some... This doesn't transform, but it's meant to look like it could transform. So we got the wheels from the transformation. And now we're going to work on putting together the waist and the legs which doesn't have a lot of glue necessary. A lot of it is snapping together because there needs to be some movement. So this kit does have some parts that don't glue together to allow for movement, which is good for a model kit. You want that. So that is nice. I wish they still made games at the rate and abandoned like they did for the PS1. I mean, yeah, the technology is just different, Mr. Bob. It's just, that's what indie games are for that you've never heard of. There are so many games you'll never play because you didn't know about them. But they're just on the PC. They're on itch, and you just will never hear about them. They will be somebody, you'll be talking to somebody, they'll be like, hey, did you play that? That's my game of the year. And you'll be like, no, what? What are you talking about? Licenses were so easy and cheap. Indeed, because people wanted to have their shit out there. All right, I am going to retweet my tweet. See if we can get a few more friends to join us. I do know what I'm building after this. Now, I decided to do a thing, friends. And I hope you'll come along with me on this. Before I get started, here is a promotion. Tomorrow's stream is happening. Pat watches wrestling and crowdfunds to pay off his medical debt. Tuesday, the 20th of December at 7 p.m. Eastern. Every donator is considered a sponsor of the event. You can donate at code.fi.com/PatBaer, and you can watch it at twitch.tv/PatBaer. Now, goal has been achieved. The money has been raised. This is the victory lap. But if you still wanted to come and hang out, you're more than welcome to, and watch me watch wrestling, and you can watch wrestling too. You're more than welcome to do that. I think you'll have a good time with it. Is that box? This is the box. Okay, that's what I was like. What's that shadow? It's the box. So we got our components here. We're gonna get into assembly here with our legs, which will go like that, so we can move everything else out of the way. But yeah, that's tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm expecting a 3-hour stream, perhaps longer, but I think certainly 3 hours. I have about 6 hours of wrestling to watch. We're not going to watch all of it, but we're going to watch a lot of it. Mostly stuff from Japan. One show from a European television broadcast that I have decided not to watch ahead of time. I want to be taken along for the ride. Mr. Pop says, which is true, there are games I own on itch I'll never know existed. Yes, there are so many bundles that came out that I'm just like, I have no idea. I don't know what I purchased here. I don't know what I have. I don't know if that thing is even worth checking out or if I'm ever going to. Totally accurate. Good call on that, Mr. Bob. What was I saying before I realized I needed to promote myself a little bit here? Okay, so this is going to be the bottom. All right, and then we got these parts all connect. These are all just regular connections. And then all we're going to do is we're going to glue the top to the bottom here. So we will do that because this needs to glue together. Once we get everything connected, we'll just glue it in place, and it should be fine. But let's get these parts connected here with some. These aren't polycaps, but they're acting like polycaps. Oh, we do need to glue. Do we glue that together? We glue one of these pieces together. Okay. 27, 31 is that piece. So we do actually glue that together. I think. Maybe we don't. I don't know. We'll look at it. So I'm gonna build the next kit I'm building is a wool suit, I should say. It's a Gundam that has been in my backlog since June of this year, and I don't want to go into the next year with it in my backlog. It is the oldest thing in my backlog. It's been there the longest. There's nothing like special about it. It's just a thing that I own. It's just a high grade, but I've had it too long. I've had it now. I looked at it. I've had it almost fully 6 months in my backlog. John says clearing out the oldest backlog is a good feeling. Yes, it'll just feel like somewhat of an accomplishment because I just don't want to look at it anymore. And it's one of those things where part of it is because I've built similar kits to it. I had built a lot over the year, so I wasn't mad that I hadn't gotten a chance to put it together. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, nah, I gotta do this. This has got to happen. So it's gonna happen. All right, so that's 31. Is there another 31? Be really careful. We're going to look here. There was 31. That's 32, 33. No, there's only one 31. Which is good to know. So this is going to go like this. And then that. And then this is going to go that. Okay, that goes like that. All right, great. Yes, and that'll move. We don't want to glue anything because we want this to be able to move. Then these are going to go in here. This looks like that. These have to go. Okay. Go in here. This goes in here. And then that's going to go in here. So none of this is glued together except this piece is going to be glued to the bottom here. Lord Crashton wants me the dance button, and I will. So here is the dance button while I figure this out. Whoop. There we go. Holiday dance button. Okay, so that's going to go like that, allowing for some movement. And we can now glue these together. All right, we got our liquid cement. We're ready to do some liquid cementing. We're going to apply liquid cement here to the top and the sides, making sure we don't get anything near the legs here because we don't want it near the legs. And we want to allow for some movement. So we're not going to glue anything on the middle post here, and we should be fine. If we had to glue the middle post parts together, we will do that later if things don't work out, but I think we're good. Lord Crashton says, I got Fuser before it goes away, and that's the least streamable game around. Oh, 100%. Because even if there was a list of like games that you like are cool, like songs because of Twitch's relationship with Harmonix, that shit flies out the window as soon as they're done. And in fact, I'm glad, Lord Crashing, that worked out for you, because for some people, that shit was not working out. They had to close some of their servers down early, and I believe that the West Coast, people on the West Coast that wanted to get like the free songs they put up, had to spoof their like have to use like a spoof to basically put them in a different part of the country in order to be able to get those games. It was a screw up. Not Harmonix's fault on that one. That is somebody else's screw up. I'm sad that this is like the third time Harmonix died in front of me. So look, Fuser was a way to like make some money off of their tabletop game, which was a cool idea, but shouldn't have. No one should have let that get to the point where they actually made that game. It's very cool, and he has recouped the technology. But like, licensing music is awesome, but like, what a nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, just what a nightmare. All of it is a nightmare. Look, here's the thing, right? I'm not here to be on the bandwagon for Epic. I am not excusing Epic's behavior, but like, Harmonix doesn't exist without being bought out. Like, straight up. Harmonix couldn't have survived as a company. There's just no fucking way. They make niche games that are beloved, but are niche, and licensing music means that their games can't do well on the internet anymore. Just they can't. So you just are hoping that a lot of people who bought your game continue to give you money consistently. And there's just no future in that for Harmonix. It's just like, look, do I want them to be doing like music deals for Fortnite? No, I want them to make cool games. But I don't think they're going to ever be able to do that. I don't think anyone was going to be able to make that happen for them. The Fuser Stage Twitch channel was a neat compromise. Yeah, I hear you. Um, but like they, yeah. Oh yes, Mr. Bob, totally. That tabletop game was like cool. It's just it didn't sell and was expensive, and then it wasn't expensive for a minute, and then it became aftermarket expensive. But yeah, I mean, like, look, I think Harmonix is a fantastic company that makes cool stuff, and they survived a really long time. That being bought and going independent, and again, and doing all this other stuff, and financing and whatever else they could to survive. But at a certain point, like that's a done deal, and the ship has sailed on it. Right? Like the future is like Trombone Champ isn't the future, but Trombone Champ is closer to what people are gonna have to do. We're like, hey, guess what? You know those songs that no one owns that are copyright free? You still get copyright strikes if you upload your play session of Trombone Champ to YouTube. Because people are still gonna act like, actually, I own that. And if they're a big enough company, you can't fight that shit. Or you just can't, even though it's fine for you to do it, you just can't get any money off that video that you put up. So like, it's a nightmare. But I think Trombone Champ is closer to what the actual future is, which is like easy to mod in your own games or do your own modes. I think like rhythm games that have a soundtrack that also allow you to import your own songs is like where music games are going to be. And it sucks, but I do think that unfortunately is what's going to happen. Yeah, I think Harmonix lasting as long as it did is definitely the impossible dream. Because I know people were like, why don't they bring this game back? Because they can't. Like, that's the answer. Because they were like, why didn't they? Why, hey, Harmonix should bring back blank. I mean, they would if they could, but they can't. They weren't. It's not that Epic was like, no. I'm talking about before that, where it was just like, we need something to be a huge hit. And an old game that wasn't a huge hit isn't going to be a new huge hit. So it's just like, yeah. They weren't abandoning things. They were trying to keep the company afloat. And it sucks, but it's not surprising, unfortunately, that is the case. It's just the reality of it, unfortunately. You picked up Fuser on PC to play around with customs, and I bought it on Steam. Again, I understand, Harold. Yeah. I get you. All right, we're putting the head together here. It's just two pieces for this head. So we're just applying some liquid cement here, getting it all prepped, and then we will put the head together, put some pressure on it, try to get it together. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Oh, earlier, Lord Crescent said you had a recent Nextlander American Truck Sim stream where Alex was sad that they didn't have the GB Shield for the in-game radio, so he used music from bands he was in or knew. I like that, yeah. All right. Yeah. The idea that Nextlander has to have their archives on YouTube. They don't have we're just going to stream this game on Giant Bomb and archive it on Giant Bomb so we can do whatever we want. Like, yeah, that is the realities that they face that they're in right now. That is different from previous realities. That I did not hear, Lord Crashington, but that's more common than it's not. You know what I mean? Like, people's priorities change. People's get pulled in different directions. It can be personality. It can be just the realities of it. It can be schedules, all kinds of stuff. Those things do happen, unfortunately, with any kind of creative group project. All right, we are almost ready for full assembly here. We won't do any gluing of any of these parts, but we're going to have to assemble this together and then add in a little glue to the front and back of the chest. We still have the backpack and the side plates to put on, but we are getting close to completing this here thing. So we'll get close to getting body complete here. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay, what do we got to talk about tonight? Final house update. Today, we had people come in to clean stuff because, dust got kicked up and all the other stuff. And, there's some paint here and there. So that is complete. So the renovations on this house are now done. The surprise, we didn't want this to happen. Post water damage renovations are all done. We've started putting back together the dining room. So that is back where it should be. Living room, we're actually going to be painting on our own. My dad's going to be doing some painting in a little bit. There's a wall into the hallway, so we're going to do that. So we're just taking advantage of the fact that we had to do that work, so that we're going to leave that stuff down, and then eventually we'll fix all that. So that's good. And it's nice to be done with that whole thing. I just want to be... I wanted it to be over, and it's over. And so we could all be pretty pleased with that. Take comfort in the fact that all of this work is done, which is great because it was a long, annoying process. All right, so I'm just doing a test fit here. This is going to clip back in on the front here. It snaps in for the arms that allow some movement and just kind of lives like that. It snaps in like that. But it's not that secure because we need to glue it. So now we need to, you can see, we're definitely going to have to make sure it glues because otherwise the top will just pop right off. So unfortunately, I do have to assemble this and glue it together all in one go. We're just going to take that hand off because it's annoying me right now. So we will now apply some liquid cement. I am going to attempt to just do the sides of this, I think, because I want there to be movement here, so I don't want to get any glue there. So the goal is to just do the sides here and attach that way. So we'll just apply some glue here and then lift that up, put that up like that, just out of the way, and then apply some glue here. And then what we'll do is we'll do just like a little bit of glue right on this. Okay. Now we will attach it here. Line this up correctly. We did. And now I'm going to put some pressure on here. And then we'll be good to go. Speaking of earlier, I was talking about how this long and annoying process is done. I want to tell you, I talked about this earlier. So you may not know this, but Amazon, the Prime service, got the rights to Thursday Night Football. So if you want to watch some Thursday Night Football, you got to be on Amazon Prime. Now, for us, the easiest way to do that, right? The easiest way to do that is just watch the Twitch channel. They have the Prime Twitch channel and just watch it like that. That's not for my dad. My dad wants to watch on a television, right? So earlier, my solution was the TV has an Amazon Prime app. So I'll log into that, link it together, and then go through the whole thing. Well, guess what? That app sucks. My dad's TV is slow. It's a slow old computer, equivalent. And it just doesn't work. It does not work the way we need it to, right? 2 weeks ago, it just was like, fuck off. No, we're not going to do this. So it didn't work 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. Oops, that popped out. Okay. All right. I believe this is adhered enough that we can move on. If I have to remove and replace, I will. But I think right now we're good. So we can move on to... the side wheels, because this doesn't transform, but it could. It doesn't. We got to build the side wheels, and we got to build the backpack, and then put it all together. So let's get the side wheels. I hate football on Prime 100% because it autoplays football audio of what is usually a neutral non-autoplay homepage. Autoplay, yes. Fire 6R cheap Harold. So the app just stopped working. Here's the solution we came up with. I just brought out my laptop, hooked it up to HDMI, and then I just have a browser open, and then I made full screen, and that's it. That's the solution. It's the solution is just I just bring out my laptop and play the game. No stuttering, no delays. I can plug in because the router is right near the TV. I can plug in with an Ethernet cord instead of having to use Wi-Fi, and it also now that that's on wired connection instead of the a wired connection through an old television. Last Thursday, we didn't have any drop frames, which I think is probably related to my dad watching football. Mr. Bob says, I just found a Fire Stick. I don't remember why I bought it. Yeah, so a Fire Stick would be good. Actually, the solution eventually will be my folks have been thinking about cutting the cable, getting rid of cable television, cutting the cord, and going with a different solution. Have a good night, Harold. Thanks for hanging out. See you soon, my friend. Take it easy. Thanks for chatting. So we got to get these tires in here. We'll get those in now. Let's see. Are these glued? These are all glued. Okay, so we'll just glue them and then glue them. This is going to just test fit here. That goes in like that. And then that goes in like that. Okay, great. So let's pop this out. Let's apply some glue. And then we'll apply some glue. Wonderful Internet TV. Yes, so Lord Crashington. Yeah. So we've got some options. My parents' friends went with Roku, and they like buy channels and packages, and then Roku has some free stuff. So they're interested in that. The Roku device has a remote that my dad can understand, which is important. Like we're not having a phone out there going that route. We need to have something that he can like literally hold in his hand, like a remote. So a Roku remote would be something that like he could work with and understand and gronk. So that sounds good. Why is this not? Why is this? No, that worked. Okay, that worked. All right, so we're just gonna hold this here because we are gluing this wheel. This wheel does not need to move. It is decorative, so we don't have to worry about that. So we'll get that on there, and then we will do the other wheel. We just do a test here. This wheel is going to go like that. Okay, great. All right, so we'll just apply some glue, some liquid cement. I say glue. You know what I mean when I say glue. Liquid cement there. Yeah, so the Roku is the thing they're thinking of, but the thing I've been kind of suggesting to them is, yes, going with Hulu or YouTube TV or different stuff. So we're thinking of Hulu. Hulu has the channels because here's the thing, right? Got to have sports. Got to have like HGTV and some local news stuff as well if we can get local news. The Hulu Live is way cheaper than a cable subscription, and also comes with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, which are bonuses. Like, do I think my parents are going to be watching a lot of stuff on Disney Plus? No. Do I think it would be helpful for them to have Disney Plus for a few things? Sure. And then I could use it. But the Hulu Live, I think, also Hulu's app works very well on the Roku, I have been told. So that is also good to know. All the channels you can set up. Indeed. I got a family friend at Fire Stick to attempt to get my family to not watch the ad versions of Prime TV. I hear, yeah. Gonna become soccer fans. Yeah, probably not. But that is right now what I am pitching to them because I think it would benefit them. And I look, the dream is, hey, we got rid of cable, we're saving money on that. What if we took the money we saved and instead of saving it using it for other things, what if we used it to upgrade the internet around here? I just fucking got fiber because there's fiber around here, and it's expensive because it's fiber. But they got giga internet around these parts, and what if we fucking got that? So that is my not gonna happen. But I'm like, come on. It's not going to happen. But I'm like, come on it. I know it's not going to happen. But I'm like, come on. So, we'll see. It won't happen, but I do want it to happen. All right, we'll put the tires on here. Are these glued on? No, these are snap in. Okay, great. Maybe I assembled these wrong, but whatever. I don't care. Smaller ones go there. 5G internet seems to be very good if you can get it. Yes, yellow frames for days. I mean, that's the thing, right? I had the 100 up, 100 down in New York with FiOS, and that was incredible, and I miss it all the time because it was so good, and it would be so nice to have that. And I don't think I'll ever, in this future, have something that good. But I don't know. I don't even think we're going to get FiOS. Here's the thing. We might eventually need something like that if they're going to be using, the internet instead of the cable television. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, this kit is mostly done. We just now need to do the backpack, which is also kind of like the core unit. We got some, and also the side things need to go on. I got to do the side things. So we're getting there. We are almost done with this kit, but we're still a little ways away. So 58, 57. This is 59. Okay. So that's going to go basically here, but can't yet because I got to connect everything together. I'm not doing a perfect job with this, but that's okay because it's not a perfect kit. So I'm not like stressed about not nailing it. We'll panel line this as we go because the white really wants the panels. The other, not as much, but the white really does want it. So we'll give this a little bit of a gray. Other things to talk about. Okay, let's talk about some Twitter nonsense. So friends, if you were lucky enough to miss all this nonsense, here's what happened. Yesterday, Twitter safety was just like, or Twitter support, I should say. Twitter support was just like, hey, here's some dumb bullshit that we're enacting right now. No notice, no testing, no chatting with anyone about it, no official announcements. We're just doing this fucking thing. And you're like, oh, yeah. The thing where you ban people from doxing folks by sharing public information that you don't want to be public for some reason. No, not that. Okay, no, it's not that. All right, this is the new thing, right? Here's the new thing. No promotional links to social media that is their competitors. And you're like, what? Yeah. Well, and you're like, because of course, why would we let you promote? It's just like, well, because if you don't, it's anti-competitive. And why would you put this out now when on March 1st the EU has rules going into effect, and you're just saying you want to be in the front of the line for that? No, Twitch wasn't. No, Mjan, Twitch is not an alternative social media platform. It's not Mastodon. Partially was the idea that it was like Linktree and stuff like that, is that like they don't want you for things that will take you off Twitter, but Twitch and YouTube won't take you off Twitter or like TikTok. They're like, no. Basically, things that Elon Musk doesn't use, he was like, oh, you shouldn't be able to just go and do that. Because like there wasn't a use case that made sense to him. And then when there were use cases that people approached, he was like, oh, yeah, we should fix that. So the policy is now gone. It's still being enforced in many ways. Like if you click on a Mastodon link on Twitter, it will not open it immediately. It will take you to a page that basically says, hey, this seems dangerous or malicious or bad for you, or someone is scamming you, or it does not meet our terms. So even though they were like, we're taking it back, they didn't really enforce that fully. Elon did post a poll saying, should I step down from the head of Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll. And 57.5% of voters were like, yes. They said yes. So is he going to do that? Probably not. Does he actually want to step down? Of course he does. What do I think happened? Well, I'll tell you this. In my thoughts, Elon Musk flew to Qatar yesterday for the World Cup finale. And he was talking to Saudi investors. And the Saudi investors in Twitter were like, what are you doing? And he got yelled at. And then he didn't get to hang out with cool people like he thought he was going to get to. Because when you only surround yourself with yes men, you don't. Yes, Lord Crashin, I'll get to that. Don't worry. I'll get to that. That's new. I'm going through the timeline here. He just didn't have anybody to hang out with, and he was just feeling bad. So he was like, well, what if I leave? But also, most likely, yes, it is most likely that people were like, hey, fucking what the hell? What are you doing? You're ruining our chance of making money on this thing. Fucking, what if you weren't CEO? Also, Tesla is just losing money and is gonna open poorly and all this other stuff. And people are just like, don't do this. And he's like, no one can, there is no plan. Even though he has said in the past he eventually did want to hand it off to a handpicked successor, he was like, I don't know who that is. No one would want this job. And it's like, plenty of people would want this job. What are you talking about? So, also, new stuff today. That was yesterday's new stuff. I'm talking about today's new stuff. Verified business accounts are now square profile instead of circle profiles. And government accounts now have gray check marks. Remember when you were verified and that was it? Now you can be old verified, pay money verified, gray because you're a government entity, or your box is square because you're a business. So that, which is their solution to Twitter Blue changing your name to a business. So now they're like, oh no, actually, if it's square, it's a business. So it's cool. They're poorly solving problems that they have created for themselves, which is hilarious. Also, he is now saying he's going to ask Twitter in the future to make it so that one of his new checks is going to be, okay, in the future, only people with Twitter Blue, the paid service, will be able to vote in policy polls. So he's going to make people who may or may not exist at this point in the company, but he's going to tell them the thing that they need to do is, actually, the thing you need to do is set it up so that only people that are Twitter Blue can vote in certain polls. So that's coming. It's self-aware. He says no one would want this job as someone who works directly under him. Yes. What's great is that these solutions are going to create a massive amount of admin work no one is left to do. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So like when journalists got journalists who, I should point out, some of these journalists do not cover tech or Elon Musk. Just like small independent journalists got banned for some reason, and they reached out to larger newspaper contacts to be like, hey, do you know someone at Twitter? And the response they got was, we don't know anyone at Twitter anymore. I don't have an answer for you. Our contacts at Twitter don't exist anymore. Sorry, because those people aren't there. It's a nightmare. He clearly does not have anyone in international law talking to him. He has some of the major lawyers have left, but the lawyers he does have, it's very clear that they are not paying attention to the EU, and it seems like he doesn't give a shit about that because he is tanking the company and then he will leave. And a bunch of people will be like, They didn't let Elon. This is the thing that's really funny, right? I can already feel it because it was like a cabal working behind the scenes, or it was like left wing media. The story is going to be that they didn't let Elon Musk do the cool shit he was supposed to do. Like there's going to be some boogeyman out there that exists that they're basically just like, well, he would have been able to do all this cool shit if, and you're just like, no one was stopping him. Clearly, no one is stopping Elon Musk from doing anything that Elon Musk wants to do. Obviously, there's no other way to look at it. Like, the man is just doing what the man wants to do. Ain't nobody stopping Elon Musk. Clearly. Yes. It'd be funny if the next Twitter comes from the EU after Twitter is forced to leave the region. Yes. Yeah, Twitter just doesn't work in the EU anymore, and then people were like, oh, well, now the new response is out there. But the idea that they're like, hey, like some garbage person I don't even want to give the time of day to, the air, was just like, hey, I use Linktree because I have businesses. I'm not promoting my businesses on here, but if people want to go, like, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to take care of accounts that primarily just link to other things, but like, we're not going to make it so you can't link your stuff. And it's just like, yeah, man, what are you talking? Like, why are you talking about it any other way? Like, what are we doing here? It's just all unbelievable, foolish nonsense. Just like somebody who has only bought his way into companies, but like, oh, he invented PayPal. No, he didn't. It's like, oh, well, SpaceX. It's like, yeah, he just buys things. It's fine. You know what? It's fine that he buys things and then doesn't know how to run them. Because people are like, hey, he runs these two companies, and you think you could do a better job? And it's like, look, I'll say this. I would do a different job of running Twitter. I think we can all agree. I don't know if it would be better. It would be better for some people. Would I make Twitter successful? Turn a profit? Probably not. I don't think my big plans would like make it better. It would make it safer and cooler for a lot of people that I think are good, because I understand that to me, Twitter is a business that does act as a public good and should be treated like one by the people that are running it. So I would do my best to like make it less shitty for people. But like, would that be good? No. But like, I'm not saying I should run Twitter. I'm just saying that Elon Musk does a bad job of doing it and shouldn't have. He shouldn't have bought it. They shouldn't have sold it to him. He shouldn't have been doing this. He is ruining a cool place that had some problems, but was still a cool place. But, I don't think he's doing, I don't think other people would. I think a lot of people would do a better job than Elon Musk. I'll just say that. A whole lot of people. Nationalize Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. That is its own whole thing, but I can see where you're coming from on that. We're going to apply this piece like this. There we go. And then just hold down. Twitter before the purchase years probably had a mountain of shady shit to keep itself together as a global web service. Yeah. Yes, I mean, there were certainly stuff that, like, was not on the up and up at Twitter. Don't get me wrong. I am sure that Elon had had quite a few, like, what? They're doing what now? Discoveries. I am sure that there were skeletons that he was surprised and unhappy to find. But also, he should have expected that, because it's fucking Twitter. And I don't know what else to tell you, man. Twitter, like, it's got some good points, but it also sucks ass. Like, you inherit it, you purchase. It's like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't have bought Twitter. There's a lot of other cool shit I would have been more interested in owning and running than Twitter. Come on. At the very least, you make a competitor to Twitter, right? Like, you do that. How does this connect, though? Oh, I do have to glue that in. Okay. I was like, this has got to glue in here. All right. So I do have to glue this on. We're gluing the backpack on, everybody. Don't freak out. We're putting glue on this. We're gonna tack in and glue this in, but we don't want to glue this part in, so we have to be careful. We just want to glue that on, so we're gonna hold that because we want these to be able to move because it's cool that they move. If I had buy Twitter money, I definitely am not dumb enough to buy Twitter. 100%, John. There's no way in hell that I would purchase Twitter if given the opportunity to purchase something. It would not be Twitter. You kidding me? Get out of here with that. All right. So we'll open this up here. That's on. That did not stay on. So we're going to apply more liquid cement here to the bottom. And we'll see if that helps hold it. Just apply some liquid cement here. Reapply a little bit there. Reapply a little bit there. We just got to hold this longer, I think. All right. So now we're just going to hold this here. See if we can get that going. Yeah, I don't know. It's a complete and utter nonsense thing where it's just like it's depressing because a lot of people's like, look, I'm on fucking Mastodon. I'm on social. I don't like Mastodon. I don't like using Mastodon. I'm not looking forward to continuing to use Mastodon. I mean, like, it's just not my thing. It's fine, but it's just not my thing. I'm on there, and if you want to follow me on there, and Pat Baer Pat Baer at mastodon.social or mastodon.social/@Pat Baer. You can find me there if you want. Co-host is probably the best place. It's hard to sign up because they're just 3 people with a new hire coming in. But co-host is like Tumblr, but they're not mad at you because they're not trying to take VC funds, so they don't have people to answer to. But yeah, I hope he sells it within the year, and somebody buys Twitter, and it somewhat reverts back. But whoever buys it is like, just left enough that a bunch of right-wing people bounce off of it. That'd be cool. Mr. Pop says, I don't know how to find people. Yeah, Mr. Pop, I don't fucking know. Because, like, you can have the same name on different servers. So, like, somebody else could make a Pat Baer and just save my headshot or my one of my icons and make a Pat Baer at some other thing. And then I don't, like, hopefully that server owner I could be like, hey, that's not me, but I don't know. I don't like Mastodon. I'll say that. So I know High say that it's security fixes that everyone seems to be flocking back, but have we heard if that shit is any better? So Lashbrook, I will say that you can upload things now on Android, apparently. I don't have an Android, but I have heard that is working. And I can tell you that I just don't ever feel like using it, but I do have a Hive account. I didn't post that I was streaming tonight. I'll probably post about tomorrow's stream. I'm not using it like I should. I know that, but I just haven't felt like the need or desire to get in there. But I know some people still really like Hive, and it does it feels like Twitter but you can edit. Discoverability on that is still a little tough. And there was a glitch at one point where you could have multiple people could have the same username, and that was a bad call. But I think they fixed that. I like co-host a lot, and John, so that's kind of the one I'm spending the most time on. Mastodon makes sense for hyper-local social networks, but not for a Twitter replacement. Yes, Mastodon makes a lot of sense if you don't want to join a Discord. If your local scene doesn't want a Discord, then Mastodon is the hyper fixated web ring thing you should belong to. The problem with Twitter purchase is that it basically tanked the finances, so you would basically be spending a large amount of money to lose even more. Yes, Mr. Bob, totally. And maybe this is it, right? Here's the one thing, the thing I haven't seen anybody talk about that I think is very funny, and so I want to bring it up is, so a lot of people are like, hey, here's my Instagram. Hey, I got a Mastodon. I'm trying Hive. I can't post on co-host yet, but I have an account and you can just follow it now. I can read stuff on co-host. And then you did see a small percentage of people that I'm aware of. So maybe it is big, but a small percentage of people being like, I restarted posting on Tumblr. I'm back on the Tumblr train. So like, find me on Tumblr. And then a zero number of people that I am familiar with, it might be different, a zero amount of people I know were like, I'm going back to Facebook. Here's my Facebook. Nobody's saying that shit. And that rules. That like, I have a Facebook that I rarely use. I still have to post a photo of me in front of the Christmas tree because I do that every year. I do a me in front of the Christmas tree with my thumb like this. I'm like, check it out, a Christmas tree. So I have to do that photo. I haven't yet. But like, I log into Facebook because I log into Facebook at the end of the night to see if anyone has tagged me in anything, and they rarely do, to look at old images, because it'll be after midnight, of like, oh, here's some stuff, so tomorrow I can like go on the computer and save that, or I'll just save it now. And then my friend Lou just downloads TikToks he likes and then uploads them to his Facebook. And I don't know why he does it, but he does, and I'll look at those. He also does it Instagram, so sometimes I'll just see them there. I don't know why he does that. It's weird, but he does that, and that way I get to see the TikToks he likes. They're not his TikToks; they're just TikToks he enjoys. I don't know why he does that. Yeah, my family's still on there. Like the first Wednesday in January, I will start a new video series. That video series I will promote on Facebook because it's new. I always promote new things on Facebook because there are like people that interned for me in 2012 that might want to click a link that like don't follow the stuff I do normally, but might want to support me in a new thing, especially because this new thing will be comedic in nature, like legitimately a comedy thing that I'm doing. My Wednesday project will be intentionally funny. So I like will mention it to Facebook to be like, hey, remember me? I'm doing it and I'm doing this now. But that's it with Facebook. I don't go on there to look for people or to talk to friends. I don't post my status on like how I'm feeling. I don't promote any of this anymore on there. Rarely did I have people like click on that to like watch a stream. So I was just like, well, this is not worth doing. So I'm just going to not do it. We are almost done with this kit. I'm just doing some panel lining here before I put it on because I don't want to move this kit around too much. So I'm just doing the panels now and cleaning it all up. And then we'll get it on there, attach some parts, and be good to go. Again, this kit, I'm just putting it together like I would be like it could transform. It doesn't, but we're setting it up like it could. All right, so I got to put a little bit of liquid cement here and here. And then put this here. Hold it together. Facebook has become how I interact with a lot of local community stuff. That's awesome, Mr. Bob. I have no local community, but I could see that being a cool thing, right? Like when I got here a couple years ago, I was looking for like, are there model kit builders? Are there card players, trading card games? Is there a cool comic book store that has like a local community? That kind of community stuff? Nothing. Nada here. So, but I could, when I move again in the future, I could see myself trying to use Facebook to make some sort of connection, or at the very least see who's around and active in the community that might want to, like, you know, do something. I could see that being useful. I don't know how this connects here. Goes like that. This is fun. I'm going to look here now. Okay, so this just kind of connects. This doesn't really give me a good indication of where this goes. I think it That's weird. Yeah, it really doesn't. I have no clear. There's no like guide for this part here. There's like a guide for all of this, but this just doesn't. It just doesn't naturally fit anywhere. These side panels. It's weird. It's really weird. Huh. Yeah, this thing just does. It's like, oh, they attach here and there, but there's no guide points. Very weird. All right, well, let's panel line this, and then we'll attach some stuff together here. I wish someone would make something kind of like next door, but not next door. I could tell you within minutes where there is loose cow. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't, unfortunately, in this area here, I haven't been able to find community. I have found out about a couple of events that were interesting, and which was nice, but I have not been able to find, like, my people. And I would, I'd like to find my people over down here, but part of the reason I never found anyone is because of, fucking COVID. And the other part was that I was like, well, I won't be here long, and that's a lie. So, because we're 2.5 years just about, so, I've been here. But I understand why people do local stuff. I belong to a couple things that were like, hey, you tweet out, or it's like tweeting, but like it's only people in your area can see it. And I used to do stuff like that where you basically make an instance of your locale. And I found that was being used for college people that were looking to hook up. And like finding out what places were carding that weekend. And I was like, oh, I'm too old for this app. Okay, that's fine. Yes, local singles, pretty much. And I was like, oh, this would be cool if I could find out like games or like whatever. I think I used it when I was in Boston. And it just so happened that like it was just too close to a college where I was staying in the hotel. So all I got was like college kids talking to each other about like where they were going to go drink. And I was like, oh, this is not what I want. This is not this is not what I want. I don't even know how old I was at the time, but I was definitely like not like going to go to a bar where there are college kids to see what's up. I was definitely not at that age at the time. I was like, oh no, I was hoping that PAX people would be using this app, but they were not using that app. They were probably already at that point using a Discord or something. Okay, so this is going to go something like this. This I know goes here. This I know. I know that this part goes on here, so we can do that part. We're almost done with this kit. I thought this was going to take longer to do. It is not going to take longer to do, so we're going to get this done, and then we'll take a pause for the cause, and then we will get started on our next kit, and I'll talk about some anime. But first, I got to get this piece connected here. So let's get this connected. Get this dry here. Far too into the sticks to use anything truly regional, says Mr. Bob. I hear you, Mr. Bob. I get grouped into areas with 40 plus mile radiuses. Yeah, that's not helpful, right? Like there's a decent enough, I'm going to actually zoom out here. There's a decent enough like Facebook marketplace like community around here. So like that's the only thing, but I don't use Facebook marketplace, and I certainly wouldn't use that for community. I would use that for shopping. Okay, so let's look at the instructions here, try to figure out how these go. Because I can kind of see from the back that this is like, so on this side, it's like that. But it doesn't really, there's no like clip or guide to this part. And then on this side, it would be like this. It goes a little over the part that should be orange, but we didn't paint it like that. And that goes up to the lining. Okay, so this is kind of like how it looks. It's weird. This just doesn't like clip or anything. It's just like, yeah, and then you touch that. It's very strange. I think this is like the worst part of this kit. All right, well, we're just going to put some liquid cement on the side and fucking get going on it. But it's weird. I was expecting like this to have something, some kind of snap or something. It just doesn't. It's very weird. All right, we'll just put some liquid cement on it, get going, and then try to match the other side. Yeah, so we'll take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. Then I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and all that. Do a little more promotion, and then we'll get into the Aile strike. That's right, I'm doing another strike kit. I have built many a strike over the years. I believe I built like 2 in a row last year. So that's probably why the Aile strike has been in my backlog for as long as it has. But it is time to finally do the Aile strike. I have been sitting on this kit for a while, and I am tired of looking at it in my backlog. So now that kit's gonna get fucking built. We're building it. We're doing the damn thing. We're doing the ding dang thing. All right. So, oops, that came off, but we can do that. We can fix that later. We've got to tack this on here. How about here? All right, yeah. All right, this is not connecting, so we're just going to add more little cement. But yeah, so the Aile strike, it's a nice looking little kit. Shouldn't take too long. Saturday stream, however we are in the Aile kit, we will pause Saturday stream because on Saturday, which will be Christmas Eve evening, I'll be working on a Lego set. It is the Lego Penguin. My buddy Dave bought it off my wish list. Lego Penguin set, a Christmas Penguin. That's going to be real cute, and I think you'll like that. So that is going to be on Saturday. That is our Christmas stream. So I hope you'll be able to tune in for that because I think you'll enjoy. It should be pretty fun. And that's it. This blue is so dark, I'm not even going to bother putting any panel lines on it. It kind of needs something. It needs paint is what it needs because you can even see next to it, like there should be some color there. But that's this kit. The Xabungle from Xabungle has been built. Sorry, that didn't work. I tried. That didn't work out. But we finished the Xabungle. The Xabungle is done. I wish it had stickers. I wish it had a sticker for right there. Just something, anything. It has no stickers. This is 1982. They wanted you to paint. They gave you they gave you like the number of the color that you could buy if you wanted to go down that road. But they weren't going to do anything else beyond that. So unfortunately at this point, friends, I'm done saying Xabungle a lot. I want to say Xabungle more, but I can't because we finished the Xabungle from Xabungle. The WM Xabungle type from Xabungle. Xabungle. But the photo's done there. So let's see. Let's switch. Let's get this up. There's the Aile. We're moving on. We'll go to this because we're going to do a pause for the cause. Talk about ways you can support the channel and do all that. But we're adding the name here because we're working on the Aile strike. So I'm going to write that down. Aile strike Gundam HG. This is the kit from the year 2014. So the instructions don't have much at all in English, but they are easy to read and understand. And we appreciate that around here. So yeah, we're going to work on the Aile strike. Put that away. I don't need my keyboard anymore. But first things first, I got to talk to you about ways you can support the channel and what we do here. The old Build with Baer workshop. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote, and the Tier 2 blue emote. If you are currently a Tier 2 subscriber, you get that cool blue emote. Throw those emotes in the chat right now if you are a subscriber. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here and my continued efforts to continue to be a streamer. I'm currently at 33 out of 40 subscribers. The goal is to hit 40. The goal is always to hit 40. So if you would like to become a subscriber, you could do that, and that would be neat as hell. So consider doing that. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community. Aristfan is top of our gift sub leaderboard with 3 gift subs. If you wanted to ring in the holiday spirit and gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that, and that would be swell. Also, bits and coins are always appreciated. Lord Crashington gave 100 bits, which we really appreciate, and that's very kind. That is another way to support what I do here. I'll go through these pretty quickly, and then we'll get into building. I'm also going to type out here about to start the Aile strike. A-I-L-E. Aile. Yes. Double checking the spelling. Yes, that is the Aile strike Gundam. So we're about to start the Aile strike. Just putting that out there. But yeah, being a subscriber is an easy way to help me. There's other ways to help me if you are so inclined to do so. And we'll go through those pretty quickly. I didn't do it the last time, so I want to get into those. I got a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. Different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining the old Patreon. What else we got? I got a YouTube channel. YouTube.com/PatBaer. Check out that YouTube channel. You could join if that was something you'd like to do, or you could just watch a video. That would be also beneficial. If you join, you become a member, $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you'll get a video tomorrow that I recorded today. So you should check that out. Let's see. Those are all monthly ways to support me. But if you want to just like throw me $1 now and again, you could do that over at Coffee, which will during this stream, Ko-Fi or Coffee goes to model kits. Tomorrow it'll be a separate thing, and that's fine. Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements. So consider making a donation to one of those if that's something you'd like to do as a one-time. So the next kit I'm building, the kit I'm just starting right now, I chose to build this because it's been in my backlog for fucking forever, and I'm tired of that. If you would like me to build something that you decide I build, and so I don't get to build anything off my backlog, you could just go to my Amazon wish list and buy something there, and then I got to build that. I've got a bunch of cool shit on my Amazon wish list. I've got some Lego sets. I've got this Rising Gundam kit that someone was supposed to buy, and then they end up getting their money back, and they didn't buy it again, which I understand. But I would like to build the Rising Gundam from G Gundam, one of these very early model kits. It's a snap kit, but it's very basic. All kinds of different things. The Pokemon kits and kits with Amazon free shipping and Prime free shipping, which are different things, and all kinds of different model kits. Hey, I just added to the list. It's $45, which is a lot. I understand. It is the high grade 1/100 scale Maxter. We've built the non-grade tiny Maxter from G Gundam. This is the high grade. It is one of only 2 mobile suits that I have not built from that line on stream, because I built all of the high grades and master grades that came out. I have not built this and like one other kit. So it's the Maxter, it's the Neo American mobile suit. That's the 1/100 that popped up, so I put it on the wish list. And then some expensive kits that, like, I'm not expecting you to spend that money, but I might end up buying it with my big gift card that's coming for Christmas. And then some gear at the bottom, because it's always nice to have gear. And sometimes people like want to help me out, but they don't know what to buy because they don't watch any Gundam shows. They don't know what a good Gundam looks like. So instead, I can give them this. Just get me some gear. I have an alternative to that, which is, where's it? Throne. I have a Throne wish list. It's more curated, lots of gift cards. Take a look at that, see if there's something there that sparks your interest. And then also, you go to USA Gundam Store, you could buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store, and then send me a DM on Twitter or a whisper here on Twitch with the USA Gundam code, and then I will buy something for USA Gundam Store. Probably a G-Witch kit, probably. And then, that's another option. If you want to spend $0 and help me out, join my Discord. I got a Discord. It's a nice little place. People are cool there and chill. Couple of video links for you to check out. Today, I posted a new Pat Bear's Anime Club. It is my 2022 Anime Awards. That's right. I did a video where I gave out Anime Awards. If you want to know what is the Just For Me, and what I gave an anime award for Just For Me, a show that I think is fantastic, but I understand that even if I talk about how great it is, you will never watch it because it's just for me. You could watch that show, and maybe that would be something you're like, oh, cool. If you want to know what I think has the worst animation of the year, I put that in there. Hopefully you didn't watch the show because it's terrible. If you want to know my anime top 10 list, it's not in that video. That comes next year, so don't think about that. Then Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series where every week I do my best to research a topic and remember what I researched and then talk to you about it. This is the third to last one. Wednesday is the second to last, and then a new project next year. This one was, and I'm going to read it verbatim, list of Christmas and winter gift bringers by country, because not every country, but a lot of countries have one of three categories or multiples of three categories of holiday gift giving from a mysterious force. Either it is a very old man, it is a godchild, or it is some dudes. Occasionally there's an animal, but it's mostly some dudes, the son of God or daughter of God or being of God, or an old man. But not Father Time. Father Time doesn't give gifts. So Father Time is not on that list. Should not be on that list. I love it. It's nonsense. It's one of my favorites that I've done. It's just me trying to remember weird traditions that people have and names for them. The one I put up this Wednesday is also, I think, pretty choice. So look for that. And of course I'll promote it. All right, I'm going to talk about some manga and then talk about some anime because I got two anime shows. And then I got an ending of a series and what should have been the ending, but there's another episode. But we also got a manga to talk to you about. And then real quick, tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, it is Pat Watches Wrestling and crowdfunds to pay off his medical debt. That is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Every donator is considered a wrestling sponsor. We already hit our goal. Goal achieved. This is the victory lap. If you want to continue to donate, it will go to just general credit fund, like paying off of, and making life easier at this time of year. So donations certainly accepted. There will be a exclamation point for that, which I will just put in chat right now, but it'll be in the title of the video for tomorrow, or the stream for tomorrow anyway. There'll be that, which links to yes, looks right there. That's great. I wanted to make sure that worked in a live environment, and it does. But anyway, that's tomorrow night. I've got lots of cool stuff for you to check out there. So hopefully people will be able to join tomorrow for the victory lap, because with only 4 sponsors, this wrestling event only needed 4 sponsors to hit its goal. But if you want to become a sponsor of that event, you can at any point. Yeah, all right, we're going to get back to building, but first I got to drink a little water, and then we have to dramatically transition to that overhead shot. And so let's do that now. Water. Great. Okay. Let's talk about a manga that I have read that I think is neat as we get into the Aile strike. Polycaps and all of that. We're getting G here. There's G. So this kit is a 2015 kit, but some of the parts are from 2013 because this is just like a update of the strike. Xandra, you did hear the dramatic transition. when I drink water, and because it's the only time in the stream where I'm not actively talking, I play music. It's the dramatic transition. Because I felt the need to have a cover. Also, hi, Xandra. It's what plants crave. Yes, yes, it is. All right, so we're working on our new kit, and we're going to get into that. And I'm going to tell you about Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life, married to her worst enemy. Is this based on a light novel? You fucking know it is. It tells you the fucking plot, so you'll click the thing and read it or buy it. Or in this case, buy the manga, which is what I read. It's not an isekai. It is a somewhat, you could call it a reincarnation. It is a what is the term that they use for that? It's very popular in manhwa. It's a regression. That's what it is. It is a regression story because our main character died on her in her 20th year, and then woke up again and was like, oh wow, it's this event, and that has happened 6 times, and now she's on her 7th life, and every time she tries to change some things, and things she's never able to exactly repeat the events that happened to her, right? But she is realizing now in her 7th life, all of the knowledge that she acquired, the skills, the knowledge of the world, connections with people that she has to rebuild, all of that stuff is still there for her. But every time has been a little different, and she's tried a bunch of different things. The thing is, they've all ended in her death because a war breaks out between a far-off nation and all the other nations. There are like 6 or 7 nations on this one particular continent. And war always breaks out, and she dies in the war. At one time, it was because she was a knight. That was the most recent one, where she was a knight protecting a princess, and she got killed. But another time, she was just a bystander, or she was a merchant, or she was doing, farming or helping people and just got caught up in it. So it's always been this thing where, like, the war keeps fucking around. And she's like, you know what? This time, I think I'm just going to try to have a leisurely life. I think that's the goal, is just have, like, a really relaxed life and a carefree life. The problem is that the war always breaks out. Like, that's the constant in her life, is that war breaks out. So how does she prevent war? Well, what if the emperor, who at this time is still the prince of the country, what if he's fucking chill and doesn't start waging war on the rest of the world, or the continent at least? She could probably figure that out, right? If she could meet him and calm him down, that would be cool. And coincidence, she did meet him as she was trying to escape. Because the other thing is, she's the villainess. She was called a villain. She's not one. The banishment is the inciting incident, right? Even though it's a villainess, it's not an isekai. This is not a dating game that she is woken up in. So she's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to get out of here. Oh, I met that prince. Wait a minute. That's the prince that is going to cause all these problems. And he is just kind of enamored with her because she doesn't give him the time of day. And there's just something about her that's interesting to him. At this point, I should mention, he's the guy that killed her in her 6th life, because he's the prince that went out of control and basically declared war on the world. And he is directly responsible for all her deaths, and including in the 6th life, where he literally murdered her as she was trying to protect the princess. So she's got to figure out how to calm him down, see if she can figure out why he would go that far, what incident would happen, figure out what's going on with him, and then also deal with internal stuff, right? can she hold hands or have close contact with the guy that murdered her days ago in her mind? Obviously in a different life because she's regressed, but like literally tried to kill her, succeeded in killing her. Like, can she handle that? And then also, how does she, like, her initial attempts to reestablish connection with people that she had a relationship with in her previous lives, like, can she do that? Can she make that work? Also, it's not like she's reliving her life. This is like a different path that her life has taken. So there are things that she does. It's not like she's like, well, on this date, this happens. She's like, I don't know anything about the prince's younger brother. Why does this dude seem like a creep? I have no way of knowing. So she just has to, like, figure this shit out as she goes. As I say that as I attempt to figure this shit out. Why is this connecting weird? Where does this need to go? Why is this not working right? Got it. There he goes. I heard a snap that time. Not a crack, a snap of parts snapping together. This looks right. Okay, move on. Xander says, the more shows like this I watch, the more it strikes me just how incredibly set in stone all the tropes are that I thought were funny story conceits early on. Like, oh, the villainess is almost always blonde with curly hair, and she always banished, and there's always a demon lord, and there's always Crest, and yeah, so if most light novels, manga, web novels, you know, basically the same thing as light novels, and anime, do follow those tropes very closely because those tropes are expected of the genre. They are like, okay, so this is G2, and this is G1, and that's C14, and I don't know why this is being weird, but it is. Maybe this just doesn't look right. Maybe it's just supposed to look not right, but it really feels like I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, this wasn't fully connected. This piece wasn't fully connected, so that should make this snap in. Trust your instincts, my friends. If you've been doing this for a little while, like, that just felt wrong, and I knew that something wasn't right, and now this feels right. Okay, great. Good. But that yeah, like I said, that just didn't feel like I was connecting this properly, and it's because I wasn't. There was pretty good Isekai meme using the Buzz Lightyear at a toy store full of himself format. Yes, that is a good meme. But yeah, you're right, Xandra. The Villainess thing, the dating game thing, dating video game, dating sim thing, if it's an Isekai, if it's not an Isekai, the Villainess is, occasionally the Villainess was being awful, and now you're just taking over the body and you have to deal with it. Like, and in some instances, it was just a frame job. But yeah, Katriana in one of the Villainous stories is interesting because it starts with her as a young child. So she has the ability to understand that she's going to become a villainess. She's just a brat at this point, but she will become a full-blown villainess. And so she's able to, in some instances, unknowingly, because she's, trying and succeeding in almost accidentally. But she is attempting to fix those mistakes, where in some instances, like this one, the reported deeds have been done. This is all just the fallout, which is a different take and interesting. But yes, these types of series are very tropey. I like this one mainly because I think that she is fun. She's got a character to her, our MC in this particular story. And also, there's probably going to be some romance. And I do like that. Now I'm going to talk about two anime shows. One just completed, and one has another episode. There's one more somehow. I'm going to explain what happened in episode 12 of Beast Tamer. There's an episode 13. I really don't think they need an episode 13, but there is. Also, I should point out that if you were like, oh, Pat, yeah, I've been reading the manga, so I haven't checked the anime out yet. We are now past the part that the manga has released, because this is based on the light novel Beast Tamer. So I am now, from watching the anime, further along than I was from reading the manga, which is pretty remarkable They definitely skipped over a few things. So like the big fight that was this entire episode, I am still reading on the in manga form. So Beast Tamer. If you haven't been watching this show, it is very chill. It's an overpowered main character that still doesn't quite understand that the main reason he's overpowered is not the contracts as a beast tamer he is made with the ultimate species, these really strong ladies who all think he's neat. It's not just because of that. It's also because he is an incredibly strong beast tamer he just does not believe in himself enough. He mostly believes in his friends who believe in him. So he's like, well, they're not. I don't think they're wrong. I guess I'm pretty cool because they seem to think so, and I like them. That's basically where we're at with it. He's incredible. He's got the ultimate species man. He's got a cat spirit and a dragonoid. Of course, they're attractive ladies. And he's got twin fairies. That normally don't trust humans, but think that Rain is pretty cool. And then also, we recently added the newest friend, Nina. She is of the god species, which means that she is a demigod. She looks like a fox, like a three-tailed fox, like a kitsune. But she's also on the squad. And then there's also, she's not part of the crew, but she is a friend, a human lady, who is a member of the the local knights, who most of the knights were bought out by the local lord, but she is a chivalrous one, so she's not like in the crew, but she's like hanging out, doing her thing. Anyway, don't stop me if you heard this before. Rain was part of the heroes' party. But they didn't think he was worth it, because he didn't do combat. So they were like, "Get the fuck out of here." But then it turns out when Rain became the beast tamer of incredible people, he got some of their power, and now he's really strong and good at shit. And the hero wants him to die. And you're like, "Wait, what? Why does the hero want him to die?" Because he's been embarrassed. The hero should be all powerful, and Rain should, even though they were stomped all over Rain should just like submit, and they didn't. So then some evil person, we don't know who, some evil person was like, "Hey, here's a ring. You can use this ring and you can defeat Rain." And so the hero was smart enough not to put the ring on. He gave it to the local lord's son, who is an evil bastard. And the local lord's son gained some powers, but then also this evil ring, turns out to be very evil. Uses the Lord's Son as a sacrifice to summon a fucking demon. Because, of course, the person who gave it to him is from the Demon Lord's army. And a demon gets summoned in a fucking town, and the hero is just like, well, Rain won't be able to survive this. Spoiler alert, Rain does. And then the rest of this episode is a fucking cool fight scene. It's Rain and Kanade and Tanya just punching the shit out of this demon. The demon keeps constantly summoning monsters they don't have any intelligence, they're just summons. And those summons, unfortunately, are all CGI that don't look good. But this show has mostly not had any CGI in it, so while I don't appreciate it and don't enjoy it, I understand it was going to happen. At some point, I was going to be disappointed with the show, and so here's the point where I am. At one point, Rain has buffing abilities he rarely uses. So, but now that he's contracted with Nina, he can buff the ladies up, and they basically are glowing yellowish gold. So, in a way, they're pretty much Super Saiyans, and they get Super Saiyaned up and just start punching and kicking really fast, and it's definitely a fucking Super Saiyan reference, and it's pretty okay. Because there's another Super Saiyan reference coming. Don't worry. Anyway, that doesn't do enough. The twins have to fight, and they go off, and they're teleporting. Now, the twins have been pretending they've been hiding their wings because fairies and humans don't normally get along. So they've been hiding. But they got to show off their powers to use their cool abilities. And people were like, should we trust them? But the first townsperson, and also you should trust them because your life is in danger, but whatever. The first townsperson who's just like, I trust them, is the owner of the hot dog stand because those girls like the hot dogs. And he's just like, if we all like the same foods, we can get along. And it's so fucking ham-fisted, but also it's just like, yeah. And the kids are like, well, those girls are cute and fun. We like them, yeah. And then everyone's just like, they did help us when the Lord's son was going to kill us. So I guess we'll believe them now. Also, all the adventurers show up and they're helping out, which is good because you definitely would expect them to, but they hadn't at first. So they show up and like people are helping, and Rain's just like, I got friends. This is nice. And then Nina shows up. Nina is the demigod, and she's just like, well, I have instant teleport. Will that help? Instant teleport does. So basically, Rain has instant transmission where he can just constantly teleport, which allows him to get close to the demon. And the demon's just like, yeah, but I got all these like monsters. You're not going to be able to touch me. It doesn't matter. What do you think you're going to do here? And that's when Rain uses his boosting spell on himself, which feels like a fucking cheat, but he does. And Rain takes over the summoned, like the contracts of the summoned beasts, and the summoned beasts all attack the demon, whose name we don't know. And then the demon is just like, what was your name? And Rain is like, I'm not going to tell you, which is pretty great. The guy's just like, okay. Yeah, you got me. And the day is saved. And then over the closing credits, which, again, this is episode 12 of 13. This could have been the end of the series or the season. Stella, the person that's been helping them, is now the new captain of the Knights. The local lord was sent. Excuse me. The local lord and the knights that were paid off, they're all sent to the capital to receive their punishments, and there'll be a new lord installed. Everyone is helping rebuild, including the ladies. Tanya was trying to hide that she was a dragonoid, but everybody figured it out. But they think it's cool. And yeah, everybody's helping out. And that definitely could have been... Oh, also, the village that Nina was raised in, everybody left it when she was kidnapped, and they don't know where they are, but Rain's like, well, I'm going to be traveling. We'll help you find it. So I assume that we'll see at least something of the hero in the next episode, but I don't know if we will. But there's one more episode, and I believe it's them finding a place to live, because this whole season they have just lived in a hotel, and now they have so many people, and there's also only one bed, or I think there's two beds now, but for a while there's only one bed because the innkeeper was assuming that this was a harem situation, which it's not, because Rain, I don't think, thinks of any of them as that. So we got one more episode of Beast Tamer. Do I think Beast Tamer is a good show? Yeah. Do I think it's a great show? No. I don't think it's a great show, but I think it is a totally okay anime if you like overpowered main characters and fun supporting roles and some good laughs here and there, some good gags. Has the hero had his comeuppance yet? No. I can't give you that. That's the one thing this season doesn't have is... I mean, there's a fight, and Rain is super badass against them, and so it's good, but it's not like... It's not the same as, like, him getting, like, thrown in jail or having his, like, powers taken away or anything like that. We're not getting any of that yet. All right, we got to put the front camera sticker on and the back camera sticker on. We're making good progress on this. Now I will tell you about Management of a Novice Alchemist. This is a fantasy show that is a slice of life about girls doing things. In this case, owning an alchemy business and the employees of said alchemy business, who are all younger ladies. This episode made me a little mad, and we'll get to why. So this is episode 12 of 12. This is the end of the series. Our main character, Sarasa, she was raised in an orphanage. She had she one day met someone that had used to live in the orphanage that came back to talk to the people and encourage them, who was an alchemist, which led her the path to go to the capital and find someone to train her, whose name was Ophelia. And now she is out in the boonies on the frontier running a store and trying to break even and turn a profit. Because this show cares so much about fucking money. It is such a capitalist show. I mean, it's management of a novice alchemist. It is so about the money. But the reason why she wants to be a success is that so someday she could buy back the freight business, the like supplies business that her parents own. When her parents died on job, when she was just a little baby, the company was stolen out from under her. And she was like sent away, and the people that were working for her parents, turned their back on her. And so she's like, okay, well someday I'll have enough money to buy back the company and run it right. Like, that's the plan. Well, guess what? Episode 12, the debts have been paid off from the last episode, so now Iris does not have to marry into a crooked family to save her lordship, her father's lordship, basically. So that's good. So that problem got solved. Thought it would take longer, but no, that got solved. But then a letter from Leroy, who is the head clerk of the freed company that was stolen from Sarah's parents, basically like, hey, you're the rightful owner. You're now out of age and you're a businesswoman. We'd like you to come back and actually we're going to help you get this company back. So come in person. And Cyrus is like, I want to be a success and buy it back. This is happening a little too fast. It's like, I'm going to give up this job. I'm going to sell the business. I don't know. But she's like, hey, I'm going to go and take a look at this. Run the store for me. The girls are like, I guess. You're the alchemist, though, so we can only do so much without you here. But sure. Turns out, friends, this is the thing that made me mad. The company was not stolen from her, but it was heavily in debt. And so instead of, when their parents died, they went into debt. And instead of pushing the debt onto this young lady, they put her in a fucking orphanage and made her believe that it had been stolen out from under her so that one day they could, and all this time while she was in an orphanage and then working on her own, their big plan was, let's get this out from under debt so that she can take over the company eventually. Which is like, her parents definitely didn't fucking want you to do that bullshit. They most likely wanted you to raise their fucking daughter. What are you talking about? So that's why this show pissed me off, because it was just like, that's not the... What? What did you want to do? Who the fuck cares about the business? Raise the girl. Her parents died. Who the fuck cares that the business is in debt? What are you talking about? Anyway, they're like, yeah, we were like, we thought that like the 7 years that you were in orphanage, we could like figure shit out. And Ophelia's just like, which is good. They're like, hey, run this. She's like, yeah, okay, all right. Ophelia is just like, yeah, your parents would definitely want you to be happy. They'd care way more about your happiness than they would care about their business. Which is the right way to go. And I agree with Ophelia. It's like, what? They did what now? Nonsense. Anyway, and then Loria, who has been left behind running the store, is struggling because she can't do anything. She can just sell stuff. And then Sarasa just returns out of nowhere. And she's just like, hey, I'm going to stay here in this town. I'm going to have Leroy, the guy that contacted me, run the store in a partnership, which, of course, She's like, yeah, I'm just going to have him manage it because I already got my own shit going on. I'm not going to fucking take off and run some other business. I'm a goddamn alchemist. That's like what I was trained to do. And the village is really happy. And then she's just like, all right, I'm going to manage this thing and I'm going to make this store a success. Because this is what I was trained to do and what I'm good at and what I really like doing. And that's it. Hooray. There was action in this series, and I was hoping this last episode would have action and not have a weird fake out. Like, it's not a retcon, but it is a weird, like, actually, this is what the show, like, it's not like a bait and switch, but it is just like, hey, you know her goal? It actually doesn't matter. It's been fine. Here's the big twist, and the big twist sucks. So overall, I like this show a lot. I don't like the twist, but I do like it. Is it the best girls doing things show of the season? No, not by a long shot. There is one best girls doing things show of the season, and it is not that. We'll talk about that on Thursday as we get into the big conclusion of that story. I believe we're finishing that up on Thursday. But yeah, no, that's not the big. That obviously it can't be management of a novice alchemist. That can't be the best show this season, or for girls doing things. We're about done with the head, which is nice. Okay, so I've talked about some manga. I've talked about some anime. I want to hear from you, friends. You can put in the chat there. What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you engaging with? What's got you going? What's got you excited about? If you're watching anything, playing any games, while you put it in chat, because I'll read all of it and we'll talk about it. I'm going to tell you about Let's Build a Zoo. Last night I had some time. I had some time last night to play a video game, and I just didn't want to play. I didn't want to play Hearthstone because I had played it earlier in the day, and I just. There's my usual haunts, my usual games, and I just didn't feel like playing any of them. I didn't feel like playing Marvel Snap, and I just didn't. I don't know. Nothing was piquing my interest. But I have PC Game Pass, and I was like, I think I want to play a game on PC Game Pass. So I put the tweet out, and then I posted in the Jeff Gersman Discord, the reward for being on a Patreon Discord. And I will get to everybody's tweets here in a moment. So thank you very much or not tweets, messages in chat. I will get to that. But I just want to say, Let's Build a Zoo is fun. It feels like they built a Zoo Tycoon game where you can really fuck up, but it's clean. It's easy to the UI is really solid. They obviously spent a lot of time on there. It's got pixel graphics which are fun, which allow them, I think, to do a lot in the engine and play around. If you have Game Pass, it's on PC Game Pass. I think it is totally worth get it. Just try it out. It's a lot. It builds and builds and builds because you're like selling tickets and managing employees. And I'm looking at my notes right now. Transportation. It is definitely complex. But it's like easy to figure out and like builds well. Also, like, there's just a thing where, like, okay, so sometimes things just appear like a yellow color or like a red color, and that's shit you've got to figure out right now. Like, they build in like a, hey, this is good, this is getting bad, you need to manage this, or they build a, hey, everything fucked up. You really messed this up, my friend. You gotta get in there and do this again. All right, we're doing this all 2 times? Okay. All right, we're doing one of the arms. We finished chest. We finished the head. It's arm time. So I would say if you would like to check out Let's Build a Zoo, I think it is fun. I don't know if I would stream it. It doesn't... I think this is just a game for me to just play a bunch of until I get sick of it. I don't think this is going to be a game I stream. Of course, tomorrow is wrestling. Watching wrestling. Next Tuesday is Pat Bear's Anime Club. It'll be the fall review fall review winter preview. That'll be next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Not tomorrow, but the following week. But in January, I don't think I would play this. I don't think I would stream this. I think this is a game that I just kind of want to play. I played like 4 hours of it last night, so I think I like it. Now I'm going to get to what you wrote. Xandra says, I just got my big, huge manga order from the Beguiling bookstore, so I'm excited to catch up on Dungeon Meshi and Reincarnated as a Sword and City. Reincarnated as a Sword. It was fun. The anime this season, the anime treatment of that, I think is great. I thought last week was the last episode, and it ended on a big cliffhanger. I actually think that this week is the last episode, and I was wrong. But I really did think that they were just like, and then this big meanie shows up, and he's like the cause of a lot of the problems, and then that was just going to be it. But apparently, I was wrong, and there's one more episode of Reincarnated as a Sword that's coming out next week. But I really did think the season ended on like, and now you've got to fight this guy in season 2, maybe. So apparently, I was wrong, and there's one more week of Reincarnated as a Sword. But we'll find out for sure next week if I fucked that up or not. But that's been good. Lord Crashin says, I saw Rurouni Kenshin is returning for a new show, and that's disappointing that the creator gets to return after what he did. Yes, there is like a cleaned up modern version of the manga out to like basically prep the world for the anime returning, and that is a fucking bummer because that man should not have been like just like completely forgiven of all crimes and just like, look, serve your time, sure. Do the crime, serve the time. But like forever to just be like, yeah, no problems here. We're all very cool with this just being a thing that we're all cool with. No. The weekend I played, this weekend, says Aristofan, I played and finished Super Kiwi 64, a $3 homage to Banjo-Kazooie games. Nice. I have not heard of that, but that is cool. I think a homage to Banjo-Kazooie sounds neat. $3 sounds like a good price for a fun little game like that. And then Lord Crashton recommends that I just get into League of Legends and Valorant and their Hearthstone clone. I think he only got a fine and a slap on the wrist. Yes, Lord Crashton. He just went away for a while and then came back. Which is garbage. Big garbage. And then a bunch of people are just going to be like, let me like the thing I like. And she's like, fuck off. You can like it. I can also think that you should fuck off. That's the deal. Like, I'm not going to be watching the new Kenshin. No, I'm good. I don't need to. There's going to be so much goddamn anime out next year. Next year, there are so many fucking shows. Next season, there's so much stuff immediately. There's so much isekai next season, and so many slice of lives, and romantic comedies, and action shows. Oof, oh boy. Yo boy. Next season, gonna be real good. We're eating well, friends. We got a girl that is like, she's not necessarily, she's always kind of been a tomboy, and then she falls in love with her best friend in high school. She starts having feelings, but he like does not recognize her as a sexual being. You know, they'll say in the anime probably that like he doesn't think of her as a girl, but like we can be a little broader that he does not define her as an object of desire, but she is catching feelings hard. That seems real good. There's just like a bunch of stuff next season that just seems real good, and I'm very excited about it because I like good anime. So yeah, we're gonna be eating well. Still playing a more Little Gator game, and it's still a great friendship exploration game. It also has a good Naruto bit between a trio of friends. Hell yeah, Lord Crash. I gotta check that out. That does seem right up my alley and like something that I would like. So I gotta check out Little Gator game. I'm actually going to put that in my notes so I remind myself to see what's up there. Just another Spicy says, hey, Pat. Nice. It's good to see you again. Good to see you. Unfortunately, just another Spicy, we are wrapping things up here But I do appreciate you being here. And of course, I'll be watching wrestling tomorrow, and you can come check that out. Or on Thursday, I'll be continuing the Aile strike that we just started here. We did get some progress done on this kit, which is nice. Finished up the Xabungle kit. The Xabungle kit has been concluded. Oh, you're starting a new job tomorrow? Hell yeah, just another spicy. This is a weird time of year to start new work, but I'm glad for you. But yeah, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, running until probably 10 p.m. Eastern. I think it'll be a 3-hour stream tomorrow. I will be watching old wrestling, and it will be good, and you should check it out. I'll promote it right there. Pat watches wrestling and crowd funds to pay off, which I have. I have done that. So it's tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have lots of cool wrestling, and we'll be watching that. So I hope people will be able to check that out. Little Gator game is about $11 on Fanatical if you're getting in the next couple of days. I appreciate that, Lord Creston. I will definitely be checking that out. But yeah, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, earlier than normal start time, because I wanted to give myself plenty of time, and also that just works better in my schedule, because I didn't know how long I would have to make the stream, because I thought I would be streaming while raising funds, and if you are raising funds while streaming, the longer you stream, the better you do, unless it's like an event, like when I do the charity stream, when I take part in Plamo Weekender, that I know we're going to do well in. So I don't really worry about it. But when it's just like doing it for yourself, you've got to go a long time, because it will just build an audience that way, build a viewership. Celebration stream, thanks to mysterious benefactors. Yes, we do know. We know 3 of the 4 people that donated. One of whom did want to be anonymous, but then was basically like, it was me, which is great, so that way we knew it wasn't a bullshit. Let's see, who is streaming right now? Do we want to? We normally Mary is. It makes sense that Mary is not streaming because of the weekend. Normally on Mondays we raid Mary Kish, but Mary Kish did a very long game of the year for her podcast thing, so I assume she took tonight off, which she should, and that's good for her. But who else? Who is streaming right now? Mary went to Dan's house to do game of the year. Yes, yeah, they did it in person. Who's streaming that we want to go raid? I don't want to raid that. Hey, let's rate a model kit builder who he's a variety streamer who happens to be doing a master grade, the master grade Barbatos. We're gonna raid Ray FK, my friend Jordan. Jordan hasn't done model kits in a while, so I am very excited to give a raid to Jordan, who is doing model kit building. It's so nice when we can raid a model kit builder. So we're going to go give Jordan a raid. Please come along on this raid. Come back tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for wrestling. If you don't want to, that's cool too. On Thursday, I will continue the Aile strike, and it will be good and fun. And then Saturday, I will be working on some Lego, doing the Lego penguin, because it's Christmas. It's a penguin, Christmas penguin. So thanks so much for being here. Have a great night, everybody. See you in the future. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, Vaughn.